And welcome back to the Countdown. I'm your Countdown host, MJ Book, back for another episode here in the world of the Countdown. Hope everybody's doing well. I am under the weather, so I am going to battle through this one, but have to finish this up because, of course, I have a part one. Got to do part two. Can't, just ignore it. So once again, to finish her up is I have a guest here who has been a guest before. He did part one of this episode with me. You know him as the host of Buzzing with Marlowe. He's also on the Commission Talks. Search him online. You know what he is. You know what he does. He is the wrestler, the wrestling man, the indie man. He knows it all. Here it is, Warren Marlowe. How's it going, sir?
What's up, Book? What's up, man? I know you're not feeling too great, man, but I'm blessed that you are putting all that strength and effort into talking to what you call the indie man.
The indie man. Yes. Well,
I
that's
think
what you are.
That one. We're gonna trademark that name.
That's what you are. You gave me heel Booker. So I was like, okay, well, I got to come up now with a nickname back. So I'll just call him Indie Man. So you can get that mask out and just put like an eye, thing over it, and you can be Indie Man.
Hey, love it, man.
But
looking forward to part two, Bubba.
Oh yeah, part one, of course, had some, I guess, controversial, but it's me. I'm always controversial. If you didn't catch part one, yeah. If you didn't catch part one, I don't know why you're watching this part. Go over to part one so you can understand part two. But we were counting down our favorite wrestling faces. Now, if you're not familiar with the wrestling jargon, faces means good guy or gal, white hat, the hero. That's a face.
I love the white hat. Nobody uses that metaphor anymore. I love it.
Because I'm old. Because that was back in the day when there was a difference. The white hats, the black hats, there was a clear difference between the two.
There was two different locations to the locker rooms. That was for sure.
Yeah. Then Stone Cold showed up.
Babyface locker room, heel locker room. I wish they'd bring some of that back, man. I wish
it was a babyface truck and heel truck. Everybody, it was just different. But everything mixed up. All of a sudden, the white hats acted like the black hats, and the black hats would. It just all became mixed up. But that's what faces are. Oh yeah, kayfabe died. But we did our bottom five. If I'm going to do just a little review here of what we had as our five. I started you off, of course. Your number 10 was the late Eddie Guerrero, Latino Heat. I had Jake the Snake Roberts. You had the number 9, the late Macho Man Randy Savage. Rest in peace to the Macho Man. I had his great dance partner, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Number 8, you had your hero, in a way, your inspiration, Rey Mysterio. At the time, of course, a long time ago, he had the junior, but of course, he was able to drop that. Number 8, I'm sure you don't want to be reminded, for me, it was The Rock. 7 for you was
that might be why you're sick right now. I think that's probably why they put you. That's why they gave you the bad sickness over here. You're picking some crazy nonsense in ways over here. That's what it was.
No,
they
it wasn't
ate you
that.
up, Heel Booker.
Hey, your number 7 wasn't much better. You had the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, so I don't want to hear anything. I mean, there's a lot of people that are going to hear that and think, what the hell is he talking about? 7 for me, Stone Cold Steve Austin. 6 for you, AJ Styles. 6 for me, CM Punk. And that leads us to now. Number 5, go.
All right, man. He is known as many things. We used to use the saying, the golden shovel. But this man was the the ruthless aggression era. This man came in basically not promised a damn soul. He came from OVW, picked up just to pick up one day and say, "Hey, we're gonna cut his hair. And we're gonna put him out there." His first night, Kurt Angle. What
Okay.
did he bring? What did
Okay.
he bring? Slapped Kurt in the mouth and got respect from the Undertaker and grew and more and became the Vanilla Ice in WWE in ways. But not only that, became the major trademark of WWE. If you don't know who I'm talking about, he might be behind me. I don't know. We can't see him though. I don't know if I can. Can you see him, Book? But I'm
Thankfully,
seeing at
no.
number 5, this man right here. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only John the Goat Cena. Cena, 16-time world heavyweight champion. I mean, so many achievements this guy has had. I mean, other than having the slaughter fest with promos between him and Roman Reigns. I mean, damn.
Depends on your point of view of slaughters.
Damn. I guess there was a return for that SummerSlam match that they had recently, but man, let me tell you, John Cena, probably one of the biggest baby faces that's been out here in a long time, since Stone Cold, since The Rock. We all say he could probably have been the newer Hogan in ways, but I thought Cena moved a little bit better than Hogan. Cena really was what wrestling needed to pursue to keep going to a level for it to be as mainstream as it is now. If you think about it, since he started from the time he ended, Cena had a huge asset to the product, to WWE. So I wanted to put, I was actually a fight. I almost was going to put him at number 3, but I couldn't do it. So I was like, you know what? Why not number 5? 5, 5. Yeah, 5. So that is the man that we all has the invisibility of never seeing, John Cena.
Yeah, I was afraid his
Dun, dun,
name.
dun, dun.
I was afraid his name would pop up. Yeah.
Man, that is a baby face, Bubba. That is a baby
yes.
face.
And for those who know me, this will not be shocking information. John Cena is definitely not on my list. Hell to the no. Cena has one of the interesting distinctions. He is one of the very few wrestlers I have never rooted for. Not once. Not one match. Even back to the Ruthless Aggression days, I never rooted for him. I thought he was a dork then. So if anything, he just became a bigger dork because now he's in front of us. I mean, we can't see you. Unfortunately, I can see you, and you still suck. But I get it. I get it. I get it.
Hey, that's a trademark.
I get it. Trademark. I do get it. I understand.
The face that ran the place, man.
I get it. I get it. He was a moneymaker. A lot of kids liked him, some adults. Just not this one.
Oh, no spinner belts?
That is the ugliest belt in history. I hate that thing. I hate that thing. I like
the US spinner one. I didn't like the WWE one.
I don't like any belt that is okay. I don't like those wigger belts, and that's what they were. That was a glorification of wiggerism. I didn't no. His ass can't rap. His ass can't act. No. Oh God, now I do feel a little sicker. Ugh, John Cena. All right.
What's your number 5, Bubba?
Yeah, I need to feel better. Number 5 is, I said it about Ricky the Dragon, that he's a wrestler whose name sometimes just does not get mentioned a lot. While this guy's name does get mentioned a little more than Ricky's, to me, it should be mentioned a little bit more. And why is that? Simply because he's the whole fucking show.
Okay.
Rob Van Damn. The man
Like that one.
that made this belt very popular and famous. This is the ECW Television Championship that he held for an extremely long time. He made this belt more important than the ECW Championship itself. Rob Van Dam, one of the things that can make you so significant is you just can't compare somebody to you. Rob is a man of his own. There's not a lot. There's just a very finite amount of people you can try to compare to him. I've heard the Jeff Hardy comparisons. Lately, I've heard a few people say Darby Allin. I get where they're going with it. The Darby one, I think, is a bit of a reach. The Jeff one, it's a little closer, but it's still not nowhere near Rob Van Dam. Of course, his best times were right there in ECW. He got to the WWE, WF, whatever you want to call it. He had his moments. He brought some fame back to that Intercontinental title. He won tag gold. He even was the WWE champion when he beat John Cena at One Night Stand, one of the best shows I've ever seen in my life. I will never forget that show. There's a bar in my town called Billy Joe's where they would show the wrestling events. Mm-hmm. That bar got split. There was people just going for WWE wrestlers and a few people like myself that were supporting that ECW. And obviously they were very Cena. And the small pocket of ECW people that were there were very RVD. And if you've ever watched that match, let's just say Cena got abused. That crowd was vicious. A lot of F-bombs flying everywhere. He tried to throw his shirt out. They would throw it back. They spit on the shirt. Some folks wiped their ass with the shirt. They threw toilet paper at him. I've never seen somebody get that much abuse. He got it. But credit to Cena. He knew that was coming. He would have had to have been a fool to not know that was coming. And he egged the crowd even more by basically healing. That was the closest we ever saw to a true heel Cena was that night because he was acting like a heel. Mm-hmm. But
he did RVD, the same thing like The Rock did with Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 18.
Oh yeah, but RVD, revolutionary moves. Nobody wrestles like RVD. Those matches with Jerry Lynn at ECW, urge you to look at those things. Those are awesome. I got to meet RVD here in Des Moines, Iowa. He couldn't have been a cooler guy. He was only supposed to be in line for. Oh yeah,
he is a trip.
He was only supposed to be in line for like 30 minutes or so. He stayed for like an hour and a half to make sure that everybody got an autograph. And I was wearing my ECW shirt. He looked at it and he's like, I haven't seen that shirt in a long time. And I'm like, yeah, I bought it in Kansas City. He's like, oh, that's where I broke Scotty Riggs' nose. I'm like, yep, that's the show I was at. So Mr. Monday Night, Mr. Pay-Per-View, the whole fucking show. Rob Van Dam, my number 5.
Okay, I like that one. All right, he was in my honorable mention.
That's good. I'm glad. RVD deserves to get his name out there. He's and he still can go.
He was really good. Oh yeah, still absolutely.
He could still go.
Stuff he's been on Impact. Like he really made impact, and I've never really gotten to see RVD be a heel. And the stuff that he did with Katie Forbes, I'm very impressed with. I mean, he's a whole different person than what he used to be when I met him and stuff like that. So like he's like that party animal in ways now.
He's a party. Yeah, I've seen the videos. I've seen the videos with the girls.
Party animal now. Which he was so mellowed out back in the day. He was so mellowed back in the day because he was married, had kids and stuff like that. Now it's like, all right, well, a rock star.
Well, why not? He was mellow for a few other reasons.
That'd be nice, but all right, we'll do that. Hey,
It's what he
hey,
wants.
honestly, I
It's the
will say
truth.
this. I mean, I will say this about that scenario. If you're doing it for a purpose or something like that, it does help prevent on some things because I mean, look at stuff that RVD is. He's bringing a acknowledgement to saying, yeah, he's not obviously he shows that he does it. He's selling his own product and ways on it,
Mm-hmm.
but it's for a good cause for
Yes, it
CTEs and
is.
stuff like
Yes, it
that.
is.
Because we made a comment about Benoit in our
Yep.
last episode.
Yep.
Think of it this way: if Benoit maybe would have started smoking weed or done something to prevent all his issues instead of painkillers and what he was taking nonstop,
Mm-hmm.
we might actually got to see Chris Benoit wrestle a longevity and might even saw Chris Benoit maybe in the Hall of Fame because he might have not went ape shit or something like
And
that.
more
So I mean,
importantly,
there's a lot of what ifs and ways, but
yeah.
it's just like I
And
mean, these things
mm-hmm.
are a serious
Mm-hmm.
issue, but I have actually seen personally, I've seen CBDs and stuff like that
Mm-hmm.
be something that helps somebody with this. So if you smoke weed or whatever, I'm never going to sit here and say, oh, shun on you or something like that. It's your life, it's your body. You choose what you want. And that's how I've always been with everything. I don't smoke anything. When my wrestling tenure, people would be shocked. I barely even took Tylenol. So literally the only time I ever had to take anything for pain, it was a match that we did, which I didn't even really know about. And the finish was somebody was going to beat me with a kendo stick at the end. Didn't find out about that until like 2 minutes before the show started. So
Things
I didn't know
smart.
if it was a rib or whatever. So, but yeah, cool. So I took a Tylenol. Like somebody told me, hey, take a Tylenol. Just the the flow will be fine. You won't think about it, something like that. The match went so well, I totally forgot about the spot. So when it was about to happen, I forgot to catch the head. So like you know
Oh
how I mean
dear.
everybody knows. So you go to catch the thing,
Catch
so
it.
it swipes you a little bit, it kind of gets you a little bit, but you protect yourself a
You
little bit.
protect you.
I go straight head on, so I'm going to do my missile drop kick, the running shotgun kick, and all of a sudden, whack right to my head. Bow! I said, oh,
Yep. Those things hurt.
oh
Those
man,
things. Those things hurt.
I will say I don't wish that on anybody, but that is part of the sport sometimes. That is some things that you sign up to be when you become a professional wrestler. Not saying you will regularly get beat down with stuff, but stuff on top of his head right there says ECW. That is for all of wrestling. That is a possibility of something of a new opening to a match. So, yes, Rob Van Dam is a huge and great pick for anybody for top baby faces, and I'm pretty sure he'll be in your future list of your favorites of all time because Rob Van Dam really brought a visual to wrestling. Rob Van Dam really brought an eye look to a championship belt, brought eyes to a product that a lot of people didn't understand. I mean, on WWE fans, it's a differential thing from WWE fans to professional wrestling fans. And we're all starting to realize that. We're all starting to realize, oh my gosh, there's so many different options. You imagine if ECW was still running hot now,
Oh boy, it would be different.
stuff like that right now.
It'd be different.
It'd be a different mindset just because of how fans' visuals are now. Because we're complaining about a chair shot and stuff like that now. So how
It
would
couldn't.
ECW
It
go?
couldn't exist. I don't think
That's what
it
I'm saying.
could.
Like, how
It
would that
couldn't
go?
exist. It couldn't exist. You'd have it. It's just best that it's not. We had what happened when that happens. Vince brought it back. There you go. Vince brought it back. That's what happens.
I
But
mean, at least he didn't. At least he didn't. I mean, every match shouldn't have like a weapon in it, in my opinion. I feel like you should just a little bit by bit, just kind of like make a match. All right, then all of a sudden, mid card match, whatever. Boom. All right, put a steel cage and put steel. I mean, steel chairs and stuff around the steel cage or something. Make it look something different. Make something a little bit of a differentiate match other than just a regular steel cage match or just a regular wrestling match. ECW type style match is what we like to say. Put a
I
little
get
bit of
you.
a jitter and stuff like that.
I
But
get you.
I
What's your number
love
4,
the
man?
choice. Rob Van Dam was definitely a kind of a shocker pick for you. I'm very impressed with that one. I definitely had to say that was going to be in one of my honorable mentions. It's just because RVD is still running hot. It's just you don't see it all the time anymore.
No,
So a
you
lot of
don't
people
see
are
it.
probably like, RVD still wrestles? Like, what?
Yes, he
But
does.
all right, so we're on number 4.
Number 4, sir. What you got?
It's got to be the guy you hate. Absolutely hate.
Which one? Oh, Hogan.
He's got to be in the Mount Rushmore. I mean, if you think about two of the greatest wrestlers of all time, it doesn't matter of his in-ring work ability because obviously Hogan would be very far last on in-ring ability, but buy rate, fan base, merch. I mean, that is definitely the biggest word you could say is merch. Hogan is what started the selling of merch. Fans eat your vitamins, say your prayers. Book might be huffing and puffing and probably puking in a bucket in a second. But Hulk Hogan is going to be
Getting
number
there.
4 because literally, you think professional wrestling, you think of Hollywood Hulk Hogan. I meant not Hollywood Hulk Hogan. You think of the red and yellow. Hold a hand to your ears. Flex left, flex right. Do the all
Nope.
muscle. That
Nope.
is what you think of when you think of
Nope.
a baby face. I
Nope.
mean, Hulk Hogan brought an aspect to wrestling that is still today hard to follow when it comes to iconic. So I have to go with my number 4, Hulk Hogan. Not gonna put a
Listen.
picture up there for me for that
I already have a Hulk Hogan picture prepared. It's not complimentary, and I don't care how it looks, but I hate the son of a bitch,
one?
and you know why. You know why. I don't want to get too huffy and puffy, but I'd never respected him. Even when I was a kid, I thought he was fake. And over the years, he's proven it that he's a fake. So
He was a
I
character. He
just
was a character.
he's a motherfucker.
That's why.
But
That's why I've always would say it because honestly, it's a baby face. He's one of the big sell baby faces. His entrance song comes on, you're gonna see a reaction. I mean, look at
not
Toronto. Out of all crowds, they booed The Rock in Toronto to see Hulk Hogan. After
well,
Hogan beat the living daylights out of The Rock with a belt. After him being in that little scene where the ambulance, which we all know he was safe and whatever, but a story mode thing, you're trying to bring heat to Hogan, and instead you brought it to Toronto and made The Rock say, you know what? Maybe the babyface run is not going to be happening anymore. Let's go heel. Hogan, welcome back. That's one match I'll always talk about was the Hulk Hogan is just you brought Toronto to boo The Rock.
yeah,
That's
well,
it for me.
one of the last times we saw Hogan was at Mania. He wasn't getting very much a good reaction that night, was he? He was getting booed every time he opened his mouth. That says everything. So that reaction, it's not there no more.
Now, man. It's
just
the regener now.
It's not there anymore because everybody knows exactly who Hogan is. And I saw that when I was real little. I thought he was full of it back then. I was ahead of the times. But I understand it. I understand why people want to put that scumbag on their list. I get it. But he is an absolute scumbag. So, and I met him. He's a scumbag. So, oh, geez, man, I feel like I'm going to be sick. I mean, from Cena to Hulk Hogan. I mean,
hey, man.
It can't get worse. I mean, that pretty much covers it right there. It can't get worse. That's as bad as it's going to get right there, those two. Oh, God, I'm going to be sick. All right, my number 4. I got to clean this up. Number 4 is a guy who is actually tied to Hogan in something. He beat Hogan to become the WWF champion. I loved that little moment. Ladies and gentlemen, the dead man himself. He Undertaker. Now, again, yes, folks, I have a Taker belt too. This is a nice belt. This is the most expensive belt I've ever bought. This thing, well over $300. I should not have bought it because, as you have said, what do you do with it? It just sits there on a shelf dedicated to The Undertaker. DVDs, old TV guides, old action figures that never got opened. Anybody that knows me knows Undertaker. Some folks would say this is my guy, my numero uno. He's up there. Whether he's number one or not going to say because we have a list to do for that. But the dead man, when he first showed up, was total heel. And everybody was scared to death and terrified of him. Well, wait, let me take that back. Not everybody was. I loved him from day one. Day one, when he walked out, I was sold. And I have been on Undertaker's side ever since. I didn't care what he did. I didn't care who he did it to. I was going to root it. It did not matter whether he was Hulk Hogan, whether it was Brutus the Barber Beefcake, whether it was Jake the Snake, whether it was Jimmy Superfly Snuka, Diesel, Shawn, Brett, you name it. I did not care. Go ahead and beat the hell out of them. They deserve it. I've been through too much with this dead man. The Roman Reigns match destroyed me simply because he had the greatest exit and he pissed me off by coming back. I mean, that was the most perfect exit.
We sat in the rain for that moment.
You don't do that and then come back, because once you do that, I'll never believe that you're gone. Even now, I still think you'll come back.
Gimmick wise, it makes sense. But here's my thing: for him to come back, he should have came as the American Badass. Do not come back as the Phenom. You've retired that. You have solidified, hey, that's it. But you still have opportunities to bring back the other two gimmicks that you revamped and brought in. Like, I mean, the 2000 eras, he brought the American Badass. Nobody thought that type of Undertaker would have come out the way it did. And I mean, he adapted so well with it. People gave a very good reaction. I mean, dude, who wouldn't rock out to Limp Bizkit for an entrance song? A man coming down the ramp with a motorcycle, instead of rolling his eyes in the back of his head and throwing his hand up and just flames coming out. You're just hearing Limp Bizkit talk about my way or the highway, and literally just all around the ring, driving around, watching guys just sitting there shaking in their boots like, oh man, hopefully he doesn't run me over or something like that.
Don't forget just Kid Rock.
Type of thing. Well, yeah, with Kid Rock song. I mean, what a way to come in. Like, damn, that match, that move after the Survivor Series match, what a freaking finish for him to come out, to have the countdown and just those
that was a large roar.
Voices.
One of the largest eruptions ever was that one. Taker always.
It was a good solid 10 minutes, wasn't it? It was like a good solid 10 minutes. It kept going. Just talking. Crowd just looking around like.
Yep, it just kept going.
Like, what is going to happen? And then when Taker came out on that bike, man, lost it. Yeah, I think that's when you kind of saw a babyface version of the Undertaker with the American Badass. And obviously, it was okay to be cool to be around Undertaker. And I think Taker did it also just so he could actually, like, hey, maybe I don't show him I'm literally a sponsor for Hot Topic the rest of my life. Let me show that I got a different side. Maybe I could be at a Harley Davidson place or something like that. So it's like, literally
Hot
just,
Topic.
You know what? This is okay. I was
gonna say the Undertaker.
We can go with that.
Yeah, Undertaker always reinvented himself, and the man went through hell for our entertainment.
Absolutely.
When that man, I mean, 20 years from now, that man, I'll be shocked if he'll even be able to move a finger from all the damage that man did to himself just for our entertainment.
He's taking care of his body really well now. So
he's doing a lot better
had his
now.
hip surgery and stuff. He learned, hey, stay my ass out of the ring. Stay out of the ring.
He's doing better now. But
take it from me. You leave the ring, your body is healthier. So
yes, but the hell, yeah, but you didn't quite do, I'm sure, some of the stuff that man was doing. He was doing some crazy type of matches. I mean,
doing some stuff.
So
it didn't make him look weak either. That was the coolest thing about Taker. His moves made him look more iconic. Like his gimmick. Nobody else could have done that gimmick. Nobody would have been able to.
Nobody else would have tried to.
The guy came from WCW being called Mean Mark Calloway.
Mean Mark.
To being told, hey, you are not going to sell a damn ticket. And look at him now. Look at this guy now.
He sold. You can argue there's nobody who sold more tickets almost. I mean, the guy is an absolute legend.
If you think of the guy as WWE product, you think of The Undertaker. You think of the American
He's
Badass.
The Phenom.
You think of the Phenom. Every name is what he's rightfully earned. The captain of the locker room, what everybody like to say.
Oh, yeah. He was the judge. I'll close this with Taker on this one. I mean, obviously, like I said, Taker's my guy. Love The Undertaker. And I got to meet Taker, too. I got to meet him he was at a baseball game. And I looked at him, and this is back when he was still garbed up. There wasn't an American Badass quite yet when I met him. And I recognized him instantly, but nobody else did. And a lot of fans would have probably just screamed, "It's The Undertaker." But I wanted to show the man his respect, because even then I knew he was about the privacy, but I had to say something to him. So I quietly went to him, quietly said, "Thank you for everything you've done in the ring. I know who you are. I'm not going to scream and shout and holler and everything, but thank you." And he appreciated the fact that I was giving him his privacy. I wasn't screaming and shouting. He gave me an autograph. He didn't have to do that.
Private. He's very private.
He's very private.
Very good talking person. Like,
but he appreciated,
give him, like, his respect. If you really show what's the word I'm trying to say? Patience. If you really could just show him that you show professionalism,
he'll give it back. He'll give it back.
He'll give you an autograph, a high five, and whatever you want. If you just show that privacy standpoint,
that's what I did. That's what I did. And he was very cool. I didn't stick around.
I had with him.
I didn't stick around because he was enjoying the baseball game. So I said my piece. He gave me an autograph. I got a fist bump out of him. I nodded my head, and I hit the road and let him be himself. And nobody else recognized him. It amazed me that I could see him a mile away, but nobody else did. So
ain't that many tall guys that look that big. But you could stand out in a baseball game.
I think they were probably afraid of him. But that's The Undertaker. That's my guy, Mark Calloway. Love you to death, man. My number 4. It hurts me having you at number 4, but I don't have a choice.
All right, we're on number 3.
Yes, painfully, we're at number 3. That one hurt. That one hurt.
All right. There's been a new face in the brand. This person has came back, dropped the title, came back, got back on top, literally was supposed to have heat thrown at this person for the way she came back and won this title. That's right, guys. I said a she.
Oh, I know. But I think I know.
I've got to do it. When I said the greatest heel, my number 1 pick was Charlotte Flair. So it's only fitting to put this person in my top 3. There's nobody else killing it in wrestling right now as much as this person. That's right, guys. I'm talking about the man, Becky Lynch.
That's what I thought you thought.
The reason why I did not put her in my heels countdown the last episode when we did the recordings was because Becky is not a heel. Becky is proven she is that babyface. She is literally the new Stone Cold Steve Austin. If we really want to be real, we have tried to put so many storylines to make the heat come on Becky, and it's not happening. Becky is still the top face right now, and she's supposed to be a heel. She is doing everything as a heel, and fans are still losing it for Becky. There is no way that this heel persona is going to work. I loved Becky when she was a heel because it just shows that she has more freedom to do what she's doing. And you could tell Becky is WWE. Becky is literally that brand. Becky is literally not going to go anywhere. Becky is literally going to do whatever she can do to keep WWE at the top of the brand. Women wise, nobody is coming near that. Maybe WoW, maybe in the future, whatever, but not AEW, not Impact. I mean, WWE is where the women are elevating and taking WWE right now. Honestly, if you really think about it, the women are the main are the main eventers, which is crazy. But yes, the women are the main eventers right now. And one reason why is because of Becky Lynch. I mean, nothing else can be said. I've got to put her in the top 5. So why not put her in my third? Because the next two, there was no changing on. So my third pick is the man, Becky Lynch.
Becky's a good pick. Growing up
no one else has been coming up like her though.
Yeah. Nobody. Growing up watching women's wrestling, when I grew up, it was women's wrestling. It wasn't about, TNA. It was just women kind of brawling, but still working. Then we started getting to the Attitude Era, and then we started getting to a whole lot of TNA, and we get to the Diva Era, and that was probably the lowest point because the matches were absolute garbage. There was just nobody there. I felt bad for Natalya because she was about the only thing there. And Beth, yeah. We got
Victoria and Jazz and
we got this resurgence in women's wrestling. And it became women's wrestling again, not the Diva title, women's wrestling because of people.
Kelly era.
Yeah. Because of people like Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks, Bayley, Charlotte Flair. These are the women that have led the way. And although people may not like Ronda Rousey, she deserves her props too, because because we got that women main eventing WrestleMania. But I'm telling you, it would not have happened that quickly had Ronda Rousey not been there. Yes, Becky Lynch and Charlotte. I would
say it would have still made it happen, but it
wouldn't have happened that soon. It wouldn't have happened that soon.
Just because of the match that they did at WrestleMania 32. Think of with those 3 girls. I was hoping Bayley could have just been thrown in the mix, and then they could have made it a full-on main event. But yes, I agree. Box office wise,
here's the thing.
Ronda is what sold that show. What show sold that match?
Here's the thing. Because it's happened now, you can throw Bayley in there now. Now you can sell Bayley versus Charlotte versus
She will be back soon, folks.
I know.
Mark my words, by Rumble.
I subscribe to her. I know. She's already posted, I'm ready to wrestle. So I saw. I'm a bait. Oh geez, what the hell? Oh geez.
He's bringing it back.
Yep, that's the women's title, and look who's on there. That's right, Bayley. I'm a Bayley fan. I'm proud of it. But Becky Lynch.
She's a hugger, folks.
She goes against everything I would normally like, but I like Bayley. The biggest compliment I can give Becky Lynch, and for some this may not seem like a big deal. I've bought tons of wrestling stuff before. Always of guys. Not to say that there wasn't women I liked. Big fan of Lita back in the day. But I never bought any Lita gear. The first women's wrestling anything merchandise that I bought was I bought the Man t-shirt. That was the first. That's credit to her. I didn't even buy Ronda stuff yet. And you would think I
Very
would have had
simple
that
shirt.
first.
It wasn't like a very big graphic shirt. It was literally
Just
the
the
man.
man. Just says the man on it. Nothing on the back.
And it sold like an Austin 316.
That's
shirt.
what I was just about to
Literally.
get to, because that's exactly what it was. It was the Austin 316 shirt, the early Austin 316 shirts. People, when they think of that shirt, they think of it saying that on the front with the skull in the back. The early ones just said Austin 316 on the front. There was nothing on the back. So that is an inspired choice. Becky, I wish you would have came back a little better, because that SummerSlam fiasco was a bit messy. But it's just good.
Pop, bro.
She got the pop. She got the pop.
That's all you needed. That's all you needed.
It's good to see Bex back, and
A lot
to
of
see
people
her
were upset
having
about it, but literally,
it could have gone. It should have gone better. But to see her having the career she's having, she deserves
right
it.
now.
She deserves the
that
career.
her and Liv are doing right now.
It's the best Liv has looked. Liv is looking so much better.
Daniel Bryant. It's literally the Daniel Bryant story they're doing with Liv right now.
They are.
Love it. Keep doing what you're doing. Do not rush the story. Literally extend it on as much as you can.
Exactly.
Honestly, I want to see it extend all the way till Mania. Do not rush it. Literally, I want to see Liv at the high peak as you can. Because literally, you can extend that to Mania.
I don't want it to go to Mania. Not to Mania.
Why? You don't want Liv to get that big pop at the final
because I told you what I wanted.
Won the big one.
I told you what I want at Mania. I already said it.
Yeah, we already know.
I want Charlotte versus Bayley versus Bex. That's what I want. That's what I want. That would be.
You think that'd be for the SmackDown title, or you think they're going to unify the championship?
The women's title is one of the few. I don't think they need to unify, because both champions are so damn. They're doing the right things with the women's division. I don't think they need to unify it. Now the tag titles, that's a totally different thing. You can unify those pieces of shit, but you can get rid of that stupid Universal belt for all I care. I think it's stupid, but Becky Lynch though, that's an awesome pick. She's on my honorable mention. She didn't quite make it in, but she is an honorable mention for me.
Hey,
all right.
You put MJF very early in the prime for the heels, so he had more time to get.
I had Bayley number 2. Remember that? I had Bayley number 2.
You did.
All right. Number 3. Any ideas? Since I've fooled you with Taker, CM Punk, The Rock, Austin, all these people are further down.
You did say something about DX.
They're my favorite group of all time.
I think one of them is probably going to be in your top 3.
Well, it's time to play the game.
I know it.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No. It's not Triple H. I just said that because you said if Triple H happens to be
not really a baby face, but he did have a hell of a pop at Madison Square Garden.
Triple H is an honorable mention. He's not on my list. Okay. So you're safe. Don't worry. I didn't put him on here. But my number 3, some folks may not put this guy on here, and I totally understand why, but I don't care. Roddy Piper. I cannot
was he a baby face?
Yes, he was a baby face. He was totally a baby face.
What, 2 days?
No. When he was in WCW, his entire time. Maybe. No, in WCW, his entire time was babyface. After
that tells you why WCW lasted.
WrestleMania 2 is when he switched. After the whole thing with Mr. T, the crowd started chanting, Roddy. That was in par to Austin in WrestleMania 13 when he walked in the heel, walked out the face. Piper did it at WrestleMania 2. Look, I know a lot of people who would not put him on this list, and I get why. But it's hard for me to not put Piper in a list.
I think
with
Roddy
the-
would have found it offensive if he was a baby face. I think Roddy would have been upset.
Well, I did put him at 3. I didn't put him number 1. I put him at 3 because he's the greatest heel to ever live. I can't say he's the greatest face to ever live. I can't go that far. But I can sure put him on this list. The man was an absolute legend. Rest in peace to Roddy Piper. I have a corner dedicated to Piper with posters, lighters, DVDs, shirts, you name it. It's in that corner. I love Roddy Piper, and there's no way I'm going to do a favorite wrestling list, anything, without somehow finding a way to mention Roddy Piper. When he passed away, literally everybody who knew me knew that was a bad day. And I had a lot of people who are wrestling fans, and even those who aren't wrestling fans, but know how I feel about Roddy Piper. It was a bad day. If you go on my Facebook, there's when it gets to that anniversary, I always post a picture of Piper. I always change my main picture on my page to Piper. It was a bad day, but I've since obviously somehow adjusted to it. But Piper, I got to meet that man, and it is the greatest moment ever of meeting that guy when I went to WrestleMania Access, getting to thank him for everything he did to this business. And of course he said, well, I probably ruined your life. I'm like, no, sir. You improved it. And he says, oh, God bless you. Just the sweetest man ever. We lost him too early as far as I'm concerned, but as far as he would have said, it was right on time because he predicted it. He predicted it. So I could go on about Piper forever, but it's probably best I don't because I'll start getting too emotional. But Roddy Piper, that's my guy. Even though it's not really a shock, we're going to do the list, but anybody who knows me already has a pretty good idea who number 1 is going to end up probably being. Whether you're right or not, I don't know. But Roddy Piper, number 3. I know people wouldn't put him on here as a face, but I can't not do this list without Piper.
Hey, it's everyone's opinion, so
I can't do it without him.
I had a feeling you were probably gonna put him on. I didn't think you were gonna put him up this high, but you were a Piper guy, so literally that's your baby face. Like, and in reality, that was your baby face. So,
that's my guy.
That's your guy. Yeah.
If I was to be any wrestler in the business, that's who I would be. I would be Piper.
Okay. I've always said if I ever came back in the ring and I was like a heel, I would always work a match like how Eddie did, just entertainment wise, like acting, like enjoying the match, like literally observance. So say like if I had a prop in the match, I would put visual into that prop the entire match to be like, oh, is he going to use it? Oh, no. Oh, no, he didn't get to do it yet. Oh, no, is he going to use it again? It's kind of like that commercial is like where that guy's got the trying to reach for the dollar. It's like, oh, you almost got it. Oh, no. Oh, there you go again. that's
be
what
disgusting.
I feel like we're missing in matches. Like, just find a visual and sell it, man. Just sell it. Like, gosh, I'm telling you right now, if one match just had of acknowledgement and try to put something like that psychology into the match, that would probably be ranked as one of the best matches just because the crowd is invested. You've entertained the crowd. Mm-hmm. It's not the same freaking visual that you get every single show that you see. I mean, a WWE event, think of it this way. It's amazing. Lights, electricity, the pyro, everything. It's literally like being in a rock concert, maybe even better sometimes. When you go to AEW, they're a little bit better. It's like I say a 2.0 look compared to WWE. I mean, their entrance videos are still kind of like, but I mean, they're bringing a product in, they're bringing money in, they're doing what they need to do.
It reminds me of what it was like when I came up. There was no pyro. The videos back then were that's all it reminds me of. It's the younger generation that wouldn't be used to something like that. Exactly. But I remember when there was no pyro. I remember when the
I think-
videos would sometimes just say their name. That's
Yep.
it. That's
Yep.
it. Or they wouldn't even have anything. They just
Yep.
showed up. So
But I'm telling you, you imagine what a match would look like if you had like a style like how Eddie, like when he untied his boot, and literally at WrestleMania, that's like the one thing that you always remember with that match between him and Kurt Angle.
Kurt
Eddie
Angle.
rolled out of the ankle lock, and then all of a sudden, boom, Eddie stole the match because of him untying his boot
Tying his
and
boot.
getting out of the ankle lock and stuff like that. So that part, and that was even a louder pop because you're like, wow, somebody got out of the ankle lock. Wow, Eddie was smart on that, untying his boot and then just rolling out and then pinning him 1, 2, 3 after I think it went like 20 minutes and stuff like that. Like it was
like 30 minutes.
It was a beautiful match,
Yes,
but
it
the
was.
story of it was amazing. And Eddie was actually the first time in a long time able to defend a championship and still keep it at WrestleMania.
One of the few.
Defended. I mean, there's not that many.
Not that many.
Not that many faces that defend a title at WrestleMania and win. Not many faces.
Well, there's just not that many people, period. Just not that many people, period. You go there knowing the heel is going to lose
and
the face is going to win.
Except the Miz. No, he's not a great record at WrestleMania on wins. But you don't remember, you don't look at the win and loss record. You look at who sells the tickets, who's the main guys to draw.
Here's the greatest example of that. If you really look at Shawn Michaels' WrestleMania record, he's lost way more than he's won.
It's not good.
But what do we call? What is one of his nicknames?
You're more interested in his matches. You're more interested in his.
He's Mr. WrestleMania, and it's not because of his record. He
just came a whole different level. He brought a different level every WrestleMania, and that's one thing that wrestling is failing at so much now. If you got that visual back, I'm telling you, it would change the landscape. Literally change it.
I agree.
I wish they would listen to it, man. It's just crazy. But we are back on the countdown. We are fully into the countdown.
You're runner up. You're runner up. Because I already know what your number one is, I'm pretty sure. So
you know who number 2 is?
I have an idea.
Who do you think?
Well, there's 2 people you haven't said yet, and I'm waiting on them. It's just a matter of whether they're flipped. You haven't said The Rock, and you haven't said Stone Cold. So, I mean, it's obviously they're up there.
What?
I know. I figured. It has to be those 2 for you. I know it. I know.
So, my number 2. These 2 are the milestones of wrestling.
Just say you're number 2, even though we all know what your number 1 is.
Literally, when you think of this guy, you're thinking of, man, how cool would it be to whoop my boss's ass?
Yep.
Man, how would it be cool to do this and not get in trouble? Do it to my boss, stun my boss, beat his ass, and then walk off and still get an awesome payday. How many people visualize that? Everyone. That's what you invested in when you thought of this character. This character was brought up to be a major heel, and it turned into the top-selling babyface of all time. I have been asked numerous times. I have had so many debates. Who's the greatest of all time? Obviously, this guy's name is probably more talked about than my pick, in my opinion. But Austin 316 is the WWE. This is the guy that I think is more immortalized than Hulk Hogan. This guy is literally WWE. This guy is literally what put WWE as the wrestling product of all time. Honestly, if you think about it, you have 4 guys that have solidified this company that makes it still hard to this day to get to a level to keep WWE to at that top tier. Stone Cold Steve Austin is one of them. And literally, if you get into the WWE, you're always saying, I want to be like Stone Cold. I want to have that mindset of Stone Cold. I want to elevate the crowd like Stone Cold. When that glass shatters, you can't hear a pin drop. You can't hear a single thing.
I know.
You might go deaf in an arena.
Oh, yeah. I've been there.
obviously, WrestleMania is like, I mean, I'm a Jags fan, so I'm used to disappointment. But WrestleMania always was
Used
very
to it. That's all
teardrop
you
for me
know.
because when he would wrestle my dude, he would always win, which was pretty sad. But the best rivalry of all time, and I've got to give it to the man, the flicking the birds, the beer drinking,
Ear swelling,
Zamboni driving, stomp
finger
a mud hole in
gesturing.
your ass, saying the most annoying word and making that shit get over more still to this day. A one-letter word, a one word solidified in wrestling,
It's
just
kind of
because he
died
was
down.
It's
Died down
driving a
now.
car one day and literally going, you know what? I'm going to use that on TV and sell it on T-shirt that literally says what, and literally it became an iconic promo. I've been babbling on enough, guys. I'm talking about the Rattlesnake Austin 316, Stone Cold Steve Austin. He is definitely one of the guys in the Mount Rushmore of WWE, of pro wrestling. You
I
can't get
get
any
it.
more of that. You
I,
can't
I
get any more of that.
I get it. He was on my list. I just didn't have him up that high. And I get it. I get
I
it. I
can't
totally.
believe that. Still can't
Yeah,
believe
but look
that.
at the people I've named. In the short time you've known me, come on.
Yeah.
Come
Yeah.
on. Come on. Is there any shock from anything
You've got a different generation perspective because, like you said, you're really old school. You've watched more of these guys when you were a kid compared to what I've watched. I grew up to watch the Stone Cold and the Rocks and stuff like that.
Well, I
You've
saw
grown
that
up
too.
watching Hulk Hogan, Snuka, Roddy Piper, Macho
Hey,
Man. Like
Stone
you had
Cold
a
was like,
great wrestling generation. Honestly,
those are
you
my
had that
teenage years.
wrestling generation.
Those are my teenage years. Stone Cold, and that's I was a teenager.
Yeah, that's your teenagers. Yeah.
Those are my teenage
But
years.
if
So
we still talk about one of the best eras in wrestling, everybody talks about the Attitude Era, and you cannot leave out the top selling babyface of all, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
it was the
Sometimes that
biggest
hurts me saying that. That's for
it
sure.
was the biggest money making era. But match quality wise, would I say it was the best? No. No.
It
Because
was
that was
more
back
over
in the
than all the
day
other
of
guys.
that was the era of 5-minute matches, and so it's match quality took a dip, but
But it
money,
made more impact than most
that,
of the guys that went
money,
a
money,
distance.
money. It made money, a lot of money.
He drew. He drew,
Yeah,
man.
but
He drew.
it drew money. I get it. I totally get it. I'm not mad at Stone Cold. I've already said everything I need to ever say about Stone Cold Steve Austin. He was on my list. I have his belt. I have several Stone Cold DVDs over there. So I have some old VHSs of Stone Cold, for God's sake. Plenty of shirts. I had a poster.
I
I
think
have my
everybody's had a shirt of Stone Cold.
yeah. If you were a wrestling fan, you definitely at least owned one. It's
You
just a
own one
question.
at least.
It's just
I
a
had the
question of which
old
one.
Stone Cold, the very old school one with his face and then the part
In
skull,
the
like
part
that
skull.
Terminator look they
Yeah,
had, like that
yeah,
Terminator when they were
that was
going with.
heel.
I
That
had
was
that one.
heel. He had that when he was a heel.
Mm-hmm.
When he was legitimately a
I got
heel.
that at Kmart when
That's
Kmart
what.
was still out.
Well, it's still around
It is.
somewhat.
That's what I say. Kmart's still out here. Not in my area. They are all gone.
I think they're still around loosely in small areas. But my runner-up. Oh boy. As much shit as I've gotten for The Rock being where he is, for Stone Cold being where he is, I probably will get some shit for Piper. But this will probably be the one I get the most shit for. Because I get abused for liking this guy. And I take it with a grain of salt. I can't help it. Oh God, here we go. Let's just get this cracking. Yep, I do it. Yes, the ultimate Warrior. Oh, that hurt my throat. Oh, I know. I
Oh
know.
my gosh.
You
You just
gotta.
knocked Stone Cold's matches. You knocked Stone Cold's matches. That is
No, I
two
knocked the
moves of doom.
rocks. I knocked the rocks.
That's two moves of doom right there.
Look,
Get
here's the
blown up
thing.
in a minute.
Here's the thing about the Warrior. It's a different era. You could get away with that back then. You could totally get away with it. You don't get away with that now, which is why Goldberg gets crap, because he's in that ilk and he still does it. So I'm not saying the Warrior, like that Warrior dropped here, would survive. In fact, I know he wouldn't.
Oh no.
I know he wouldn't. Trust me.
Not
I
even
know
a Ryback.
he wouldn't survive. But you got to think, I was a kid. I was bought in to the Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah.
This,
That was one of the cool ones.
it's a WWF title, but this is a little different. Because this WWF title, that's right, this is a Warrior belt, baby. This is the Ultimate Warrior specially made belt that he did have back in the day. So the Ultimate Warrior, look, nobody's ever going to say is one of the greatest wrestlers ever to live. His matches are about 5 moves easily.
3.
They lasted about 2 minutes.
Maybe 1 blown up by a tie-up.
He would say the most weirdest stuff in the ring. He would say weird things in his interviews.
This just to taunt Hogan.
But I was bought in.
This was Hogan 2.0.
I was bought
Hogan
in.
2.0.
I am looking right now at Warrior DVDs, Warrior action figures, the belt's there. I got Warrior wine. Warrior wine. Oh, you're laughing at me on that one. Okay. Okay. I'll prove it. Right there. Right there. Warrior wine.
And every time I heard one of his promos.
Yep. Warrior wine. Right there.
What was your favorite promo he's ever given?
Oh, the Hulk Hogan one. When he's doing the nosedive in an airplane. That was the bomb. I loved it.
Oh god, when the background looked like a meteor shower. That was pretty funny to me.
Travel to WrestleMania.
My god.
I get it. The character is it is odd, but I was so bought in, completely bought in to the Warrior. And you're looking at it with a certain level of eyes. If you were around back then, you can say, and it's not a lot of people you can say this to.
He was one of my mom's favorites.
Warrior, you can argue, was actually bigger than Hogan. He'd gotten to that level. Some people may not remember that, but he was
there until he won the title. Then when he won the title, it died out quick.
No, he won the title. It grew. It's once he lost it, and then he disappeared, and then he came back, and then he looked different, and people said, well, that's not the Warrior, that's somebody else. No, that was Jim Hellwig. It was the same dude. He just lost some weight. It hurt him. Then he left again, held the company up, came back again. Didn't stick around very long.
Like 3 times.
Yeah, and then of course the WCW era, which is brutal. It's that I was not a fan of. And
have you noticed WCW buried more entertainment than most of other wrestling companies?
Well, here's the thing. I don't even think WCW buried him. Sadly, rest in peace, Jim. I think you had a big hand in burying yourself.
Yeah.
But despite all that, despite all the feelings about the Ultimate Warrior, just like when Piper died, I was in tears when the Warrior died. And it was so stubborn.
It was more heartfelt because we literally just saw him drop a promo.
An awesome promo.
Looked like it it looked like
He
it felt
knew.
like it was planned.
He
It
knew.
was
He
like
knew.
he knew it was
He didn't
about
have much
time.
time left. He knew he
And where
didn't
he
have much
got to
time
wear
left.
his mask and be the warrior.
One
That was
last
actually
time.
that was probably the only promo I could actually understand.
I get it. I get it. That's my second favorite promo, but it kills me to watch
That
it.
was it's
It's
a heartfelt one. Very, and I
it
share
hurt
it
me.
every year, once a year. I share that promo just because of the impact it did. I mean, just shows all the stuff that he went through in his past. And he showed that he's like, you know what? I took action for it. I was forgiven. Forgive me and forgive and appreciate. And he's been appreciative of them still tributing him into a Hall of Fame. Because sometimes people would arguably say the wrestling fans now definitely would have said Ultimate Warrior should definitely not have been in a wrestling Hall of Fame, just because he wasn't what everybody sees as wrestlers now. We see wrestlers now that goes the distance. We didn't see a guy that literally could do a gorilla press and that be a finish, or literally doing a backsplash and that being a finish. You saw it as, oh my gosh, that's because of how strong he was. And I think you hate this guy so much, but the episode I saw with Stone Cold where he talked about Warrior, Hogan literally said Warrior was Hogan, but more bigger. Vince was
He was more amped
impressed by
up.
how
More
he
amped up.
looked. Vince was all for Warrior when Hogan was the guy. He flat out told Hogan, warm that seat up because Warrior's about to take it. Warrior's got a 6-pack. You have a 2-pack. Warrior's wearing green. You're wearing yellow.
The
Green is
paint.
the new look. The
Kids
paint,
kids painting their
the
faces.
muscular. He's got a
Market
bigger
money.
bicep than you,
Money.
Hogan. He looks like a freaking giant. He looks the wrestler that Vince was looking for. And still to this day, there's nobody's ever looked like Warrior.
Nope.
Nobody's till this day. So
I'll
I
close.
know why you picked it up on that. I like that, but the promo itself, still one of the most iconic promos I've ever heard.
It is. It's my second favorite. I'm going to close it out with this because it's just like Piper. It hurts me. The Warrior is such a huge part of. Uh,
I'm
I
glad
love
that
the
they brought
Ultimate
the
Warrior.
Warrior word. I'm very proud that
So
WWE
am
does
I.
that every
It's a
year.
great tribute to the man, and I love the Ultimate Warrior. You all can mock me all you want. I don't care. But if I did not put the Ultimate Warrior this high up, something's wrong with me because I've had to defend the Warrior for so long. So
If you
long I've
think
had to
about it, how
defend
many
it.
wrestlers have literally said watching Ultimate Warrior is what made them want to become WWE superstar? Edge, Randy Orton. I mean, the list goes on and on and on.
They're honest about it. See, a lot of people were jerks. That self-destruction of the Ultimate Warrior DVD, which I own it. I do own that thing.
Hogan
When
took a
I
major part in that one.
when I bought that, I had no idea that that's what it was going to be. I didn't know it was a smear campaign. And when I finished watching it, I have not watched it since. I have it, but I will never watch it because it's smear campaign. Thank goodness they released 2 DVDs after that that show respect to the Warrior. I could go on all day, but we need to hear your number one, even though we know who it is. Number 2 to me, the runner-up, the Ultimate Warrior. I'm staying by it. Before you say your number one that we already all know, just a rundown of what got us here. Number 5 for you was that John Cena wigger. Number 5 for me was RVD. 4, that American asshole Hulk Hogan. 4, The Undertaker for me. 3, the man Becky Lynch. 3 for me, Roddy Piper. 2, Stone Cold Steve Austin for you. The Ultimate Warrior for me. Go ahead with your number 1. Again, we already know who it is. I'm sensing it's a people's champion.
Everybody, rub your hands together. If you feel that friction, you feel the electricity. Do you feel the goosebumps rolling
Not
down your
really.
arms?
Not
Do
really.
you smell what is going on, man? I'm
No,
telling you
not
this
really.
right now. If you know who the hell I am, if you know what made me become a wrestler, if you know what made me enjoy professional wrestling, is this man. If you want to know who takes up half my paychecks every single time,
Oh, he's got a
this
rock shirt
man,
on.
ladies and gentlemen,
He's
I
got a
proudly
rock shirt
present
on.
to you the GOAT, the number one pick in my top baby face. And I got to do it just like this. The jabroni beating, pie eating, trailblazing, eyebrow raising, red notices, the man bringing it down, number one to you. And I'm fixing to lay the smack it down. Ladies and gentlemen, The Rock. Hands down, my absolute favorite. Hands down, the guy that literally is what a baby face should be inside a ring and outside of the ring. The Rock, honestly, to this day, is the guy that opened the platform for Hollywood to accept wrestlers, to accept athletes, to accept people that are not what actors looked at. I mean, if you think about it, when The Rock first joined his movie, Scorpion King, it was okay. Uh, what was the next one? Rundown. It was okay. It was actually pretty good. And then they started narrowing it down to Disney films. No knock on Disney, but Tooth Fairy just needed to be thrown away. Period. That should have never happened. I'm still closing my
Doom,
eyes and pretending that
Doom,
never happened.
Doom.
And of course, that tragedy as well, which The Rock has gladly approached that one, saying that's probably the worst film he's ever made.
No, he did
But
say it's the worst film he ever did.
but, ladies and gentlemen, the man that made the Fast and the Furious franchise, in my opinion, because they're begging for him to come back. The man that is box selling Netflix, selling out, gonna be the ass kicker of Superman, literally, really soon on Black Adam. It has to be my favorite of all time, regardless of my tenure in wrestling.
And
I
he's a
have
cartoon
never
dog, too.
really have never gotten to meet this man. I've never gotten to see this man in a
I
ring.
have.
Every single show I have been to, he was supposed to be headline on. It didn't happen.
I've seen him.
So literally, it's been hard. But guys, absolutely, this is my idol. This is a guy I look up to. This is a guy, obviously, I'm not 6'5" or 260 pounds. I keep myself very good level, stuff like that, because I have the mindset of what The Rock brings to a person every single day. Put in work, be nice, be the best that you can do, be the best that you can be, regardless of what it is. Do it. Take that effort, put what you need to do. And guess what, guys? It's about drive, it's about power. That's right, guys. It's my boy, the great one, my number one. In my eyes, that's the number one guy in the Mount Rushmore of them all. We all say Stone Cold is, in my opinion, it's The Rock. So, guys, my number one, The Rock. Or
Yeah. No drama there. We obviously knew it was going to be The Rock. You never saw The Rock?
Never met him in person, man. Never. I have actually gotten close. It sounds weird. So, my aunt, her dad lives in Miami. This is before he got divorced with Danny, and he lived not even a road from him. So every time I would come out there, he was never home or something like that. But Rock has actually met my aunt's dad a couple of times because he went to my aunt's dad's gym, and he knew Philip very well, and he would take pictures with him and stuff, and they would send it to me. He's like, "Guess who I met today?" I'm like, "Man, come on." Like I just
Yeah, I'm
got
sure
back
that
home
pissed
from
you off.
Miami. Like, come on, bro. Like,
Yeah, I'm sure
and I
that
got
pissed you
numerous
off.
autographs. Shout out to my aunt Michelle because they took pictures of his house and stuff like that. Kind of sounds weird now, but that's the only as close as I got. I got to see his actual house, but not see him. So
I got
it
to shake
still
his
hurts to
hand.
this day now, man.
I met him. Sorry.
Just rub it in. Just rub it
I'm not rubbing it in. It's
Just rub it in.
it's not rubbing it in. It's just,
And he
I met him.
absolutely, I don't drink tequila, and I like Terramana.
I've drank his tequila. I know. I've drank
good.
it. It's good. It's good. It's good.
Smooth.
It's smooth. It's smooth. It's smooth. It's not.
And I love the Zoa.
It's not warrior wine, but oh, come
that
on.
was more than that wine.
It's never even been opened. It's never even been opened. This costs more than
best
that.
to put it that way, because I guarantee you it probably don't taste that great.
I have Taker's wine too.
I've heard Taker's wine's good though.
I have and his glows in the dark. Taker's does. His glows in the dark. The label glows.
I believe it.
They did it, not me. No, that's
Lord.
No drama there. Obviously, we knew it was going to be The Rock. It was obvious.
I mean, the man has his own water. He has his own energy drinks. He has his own clothing. I mean, nobody is selling as much as The Rock is doing now. I mean, he just been on a rap song.
That's
just
not
to
true.
Be on it.
That's not true. If you mean wrestlers, yes, but he's definitely not.
What wrestler is beating The Rock?
No, I said with wrestling, yes, I agree. But there's definitely some people selling a lot more than him. And unfortunately, their names are Kardashians. But
that's not even supposed to be mentioned right now.
But you know it's true, sadly. You know it's true, unfortunately.
Rock doesn't have to have a sex tape to be popular. How about that?
No, but I'm sure there's a lot of women that like to see it.
Those are the cancers of sports.
No, but
those are the cancers of sports.
Yeah, like you're number
you
4.
Sign a contract to be a professional athlete.
Didn't your number 4
stay the hell away from a Kardashian?
Didn't your number 4 have one?
What?
Your number 4 has one.
Yeah,
your number 4 has one. Just saying.
Of course you
just saying. Just saying. He has one. Not judging.
All right, but let's hear yours.
You have any idea what my number 1 is? Because I mean, it's a question of who's left. Any ideas?
I got one, but I don't know if you're gonna name that person.
Who?
You haven't said somebody, but you didn't
say his name. Say the or her name.
That's what I was going with. I think it's a her.
Her? What? I think it's a her. Charlotte? Bailey?
No, I was thinking Bailey.
Bailey?
I was thinking you're gonna say Bailey.
No, but Bailey is an honorable mention. There's only one face.
In your list.
Nope, she doesn't make it on the list. She's an honorable mention. There's only one person who deserves to be number 1 as far as faces. And yes, I have a belt for this person too. Although it's not an individual belt for them, but they sure did carry this one.
Okay.
That should right there tell you already who it is. It is, of course,
Sting.
The icon himself.
Sting.
The man called Sting. And for this,
you ain't got a mask?
Actually, I do, but it's small one. It won't cover. It would cover like half my face. Come on, folks. The icon Sting, the ultimate good guy. Sting, you have to respect that guy's career. Even to this day, does he need to go out there and do it? Still, no, he doesn't.
Obviously,
but he loves the business and he's smart. He doesn't go out there going outlandish, doing all these crazy things. He does enough to get the job done.
Lets Darby do it.
And that's smart.
Darby do it.
That's smart, but he does enough. And even with what little he does, he will shock you with a move out of the blue that you don't expect him to do. And he'll just throw it in there and he'll do it and he'll does it safely. Sting, for fans nowadays, I feel they've been cheated because they don't know just how big Sting really was. Back in the
If he
day.
didn't get hurt against Seth Rollins, I think it would have been
Don't remind me
way
of that.
longer run.
Don't remind me of that because we got cheated out of Sting and Taker.
That's the reason why we didn't get it.
I know, and it hurts. It hurts every single time I think about it. But Sting back in the day in WCW, he was WCW, which is why they called him the franchise of WCW.
Mm-hmm.
The ultimate, you could always rely on Sting, and he would always bring about a good match for you. He would always bring about the character. He was outgoing. And even when they tried to make this guy a heel in WCW, because they did try a couple of times, it didn't work. It just did not work. The crowd loved him too much. They did it in TNA and still kind of got
the heel more than a face, though.
Yeah, but still he was still getting the good reactions though, because it's just hard to boo Sting. And I loved it when he did the Joker stuff over there. That was hysterical. Sting always reinvents himself. And when he disappeared and he did the crow thing, that was genius. That was absolutely genius. The man constantly reinvents himself. He stays in good shape and he's able to perform. He's the ultimate face, the ultimate good guy. And to me, you can't do this list without naming Sting, because there's very few people who are truly, truly just faces. No matter what they do, they're just faces and pure baby face. Sting was the pure baby face. And of course, he teamed with the Ultimate Warrior a long time ago too. But the Blade Runners. So it's no coincidence that these two are there's no coincidence that these two are on the top with me. Sting.
I think now I know why you like Warrior.
Sting, sadly though, he's one of the few wrestlers I never met. I have not met Sting.
I actually got to meet Sting.
I've never met Sting, and he's one of those few that how you feel about Rock, not meeting Rock, that's kind of how I feel about Sting. I would love to meet Sting. So hopefully one day that'll happen, get that done, and I can meet the man called Sting. But my number one, the ultimate good guy, is the man called Sting. And I think we lost Warren here. Uh-oh, Warren, if you're able to hear me, we're not hearing you. So I'm going to keep this going, I guess, for a little bit. Hopefully you're on your way back on. But that's the countdown. That is our favorite faces. What do you think? What are your favorite faces? There are a lot of ways, of course, that you can let... Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, we lost him. Oh, geez. Thanks a lot, Warren. It's cool. It happens. But what are some of your favorite faces? Do you have any opinions on the faces that we named? There are plenty of ways you can get in touch with me. You're watching this on YouTube, look down below, and you can see all the options. You can send me an email. Just send it to thecountdown2020@gmail.com. You can go on the Facebook page. Just search at the Countdown 2020 Podcast 1. I'm on Twitter. Just search at the Countdown PO1. I'm on Instagram. Instagram's been real good. A lot of people have been following lately. Just search the Countdown 20. Spotify, you can listen to all the episodes. Just search the Countdown 2020. I'm on Amazon Audible. Just search the Countdown Podcast. iHEART Radio. Search the Countdown Podcast. All episodes released through Podbean. Just search the Countdown Podcast. You can go to the archive through that website through Podbean, thecountdown2020.podbean.com. And of course, you already know if you're watching this on YouTube, just search the Countdown Podcast with MJ Book. And of course, listen to Third Generation Wrestling. They're the geniuses of wrestling. Also listen to Buzzing with Marlowe, listen to The Commission, and want to thank you all for listening in. Sorry that we lost Warren. Don't know what happened there. I'm sure there's some technical things, but it happens. But do want to throw a shout out to incomtech.com, Kevin MacLeod for the royalty-free music Ice Flow that you hear at the beginning and ends of episodes. Appreciate that. And got the Christmas episode coming up, dealing with the best and worst of 2021. And that leads us into 2022. And I hope everybody has a good 2022. Get yourself those shots so we can get rid of this COVID. And that's all I got for you. So I will catch you all again on the next episode of The Countdown. Have yourself a great day or evening, whatever time it is. Bye-bye.